In this video I will show you how to access ECPDS, how to log in, and how to stop and start a destination and check the status of this destination. So ECPDS is a web application that you can access with any standard browser. This is the URL, and you need to make sure that the port 9443 is open through your firewall for outbound connections. So let's log in. We should enter the user ID, which we need to make sure we have an ECMWF account, and the password. And what you should see once you're logged in is that the system has recognized you and it will display the person associated to this account. Over here you have a link to the destinations configured for this user ID. In this case we have two destinations, EC1 and ECM. As you can see, the destination EC1 is in bolts because we monitor them, and ECM, which is in italics, and if you hover over it, it will tell you that it's not currently on the monitor's display, and we usually configure them for trials. Let's have a look at destination EC1, which take us to the place where the information with regards to this destination is. We find several areas. The first one gives us a bit of information of the status of the destination. There are some action buttons that I will explain in a minute. We then get some filtering facilities. The next table will display all the files that are at the moment in this destination. And finally we get some information with regards to the host configuration. If we come back to the top of the page, we will see a link which specifies the type of user that you are. In this case it's a member state, but you might see the maximum charge commercial if you are that type of user. We then have some action buttons, so if you hover over each one of them you will see what they do. The first one is stop the destination with immediate effect, which means that if there are any files currently transferring, it will stop them and the files will not finish the transfer. Stop destination graceful means that if there are any files transferring, it will wait for them to finish the transfer and then it will stop. Restart destination with immediate effect means that it will do an immediate stop followed by a start of the destination, and restart destination graceful means that it will do a graceful stop followed by a start. If we stop the destination, it will warn us about stopping it, and we will see the status is updated as stopped, followed by the user ID who's performed this action. So let's change that. We'll restart the destination and it goes back to an idle status. So basically, just to emphasize, when we stop the destination there will be no files going at all, even if these have been scheduled. To give you some examples of when would you like to stop a destination, that would be in cases, for example, when you have planned an outage period where your host will be offline, and in that case you may want to stop the destination, otherwise we will be sending files to your servers and they will be failing, the transmissions will be failing, and our operators will try to contact you. So during your outage period you can stop the destination, the files will be there in ECPDS, and by the time you restart the destination again, all the files will go automatically. But be aware that the daily files are kept in ECPDS for a period of 3 days, and after this period the files are deleted from the cache and they are no longer retrievable. If you're planning to have an outage period for longer than 3 days, please have a look at our video where I explain how to extend the lifetime of the files in ECPDS. In the next box you can configure a refresh period. If you hover over it, it will tell you that by default is 0, which means no refresh. If you put 10 and press enter, which is the minimum number of seconds that you can configure, it will refresh automatically every 10 seconds. The next bar shows different fields regarding the status of the destination. So the first one, which is called a status, has different values. Idle means it's not doing anything at the moment. It can also be running when the transfers are taking place. It can be stopped when we press the stop button and there will be no files going out, and it can be waiting when there is an imminent dissemination schedule. This is the last transfer that occurred in the last dissemination, so if you click in here, it will take you to the last file that was transferred. The last error here says none, but there had been an error. It will show again a link to the file that produced an error. Started will display the last active time prior to the dissemination schedule. Is usually a few minutes before, when the queue of files starts to become active. And monitor, it shows true when we are displaying this destination in the monitors.